All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue with our contact and passing. I'm sorry, our walk cycle animation. This time we've done all of the contact and passing pre-work, but this time around, what we're going to do is we are going to continue on and do essentially, since we did that's kind of like pose to pose method where we are doing essentially the extremes, but now we have to do the in-betweens. So really what we need to do is we need to create elements that transition us from contact to passing and from passing to contact. Now, the thing is, that is going to be the first one that is after contact is always going to be down, because basically what happens is after after you make contact, what happens is this leg, the knee kind of like comes down just a little bit more. And since this is straight, you need to kind of like break the knee a little bit in the angle. So actually, we're going to add a little bit of a little bit of an angle to this, and then we're going to add a little bit of a flat foot. Okay. In this case, as I said, this knee is going to come down, so we're going to have a little bit more of an angle, but this portion of the leg is going to be horizontal, where it's more of a toe touch right there. Like you're pushing off of this leg here to kind of just like continue on essentially. Okay. Or you're getting ready to push off, I should say. Okay. So like there's a little bit of a transition there. Okay. And that's just to help your leg continue without being stuck being straight. Okay, so it actually looks like you are walking. Okay, so let me get rid of these guys. All right, so what the easiest way that I find is we're going to do that onion skinning that we talked about earlier in the second quarter, where basically we use a transparent version of the images that we already have, so it's easier to essentially draw the next stage. So what I'm going to do is as I said, we're going to do the down next. Because basically, as you're walking, you don't stay level the whole time. Your body kind of ebbs and flows back up and down like this. Okay? So we want to represent that. So right now, we are on level. For our next drawing, we want to copy the body, and we want to rename this down. Okay. And because it is, actually, I want it above passing one, and there's a reason why, and I'll explain in a second. We are eventually going to move it above contact, but for right now, we're going to leave it above passing one because of what we're going to do in a second. So what happens is we want to represent that the body's actually going down. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to bring into view both passing one and contact one. And I am going to drop their transparency down to around 20%. Doesn't have to be perfect, but drop it around 20%. Okay, again, one was 19, one was exactly 20, does not matter. Okay, so now this is why it's good to have the colors that I did, so you can see what's happening. Okay, so in this case, what is occurring is that since we are going to be eventually putting this one down here, so it is between those two. So I guess technically we can do it right away. It's not that big of a deal because we can still see everything. But what it is we are creating an image that is halfway between these two positions. Okay. So because I want my leg to essentially show, okay, but but I want to add a little bit of a break, because even though it's straight here and it's pretty much straight here, your body kind of dips between um, these two poses. We do have a little bit of a bend in our leg. So we don't want to, so then this way we're not like staying perfectly straight with our legs at all time. All right. So our leg kind of like does it. So, which is what the dipping, that occurs, which is our down. That's how it essentially happens. So we are dropping down a little bit, and you need to make sure you're on the right layer, and I was not. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to click and drag this down. What I'm going to do is make sure I'm clicked on this. I'm going to hold shift, and I'm just going to press down once. Okay. And that is more than enough for us. Okay. Now, again, make sure you're on the down pose. If you're still with the same colors as last time, like me, just make sure you switch back to black. And as I said, you are this time, what we are going to do is we are going to have our down pose. We are going to do this space essentially between these, okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to have it where the bent leg, or we're going to have a little bit of a bent leg, okay? And it's going to be the space that's between these two. So set up your brush, back up to 30, softness at 0, and I want roughly between them. Oops, I went a little too far. And I want to start getting almost, at a flat foot pretty much. Make sure that you're not going too far back. So it's like almost like you're following along the back side of that front leg, and then you're coming down and slightly up. Not too much, but slightly up. Okay? And then with this leg, you can see that the red is here and the red is also here. I want halfway between those. So essentially what it is your leg is heading this direction right now, okay? So we want the halfway point to that. So we want down this way, and then down, okay? So now what that's doing is creating that step between pushing off the ground and coming up to here. Now for your arms, the same thing. We have our arm like this for the red, and we have our arm like this for the red. We kind of want it to be almost halfway between the two, so we would come down and then over, okay? And then same thing for the blue. Our blue is here and there, so we want there and here. So they're a little bit closer to the center of the body this time compared to the other two, because our legs are even kind of close to the body, okay? We are going to save this down and duplicate it because we need a down after each contact. We're going to have it down after this contact, and we're going to have it down after this contact. So you can duplicate that now, move it above contact 2, okay? Then we're going to do this again, but this time we are going to do our up. So we're going to hide these guys. Oops, I hit the wrong one. We are going to do up this time. So I want to hide contact 1, bring back contact 2, lower the opacity to around 20%. I'm going to make a copy of my body. I'm going to put it between these guys. I'm going to hold shift and press up once, as long as I'm on the move tool. I forgot to switch. So on the move tool, I'm going to hold shift, press up once. Okay. Now, I need to rename this one up. Might as well just type up 1 because I need to change the other ones anyway. So up 1, we are going to now do halfway between the legs again, okay? But this one's a little bit easier. We got a small distance between the blue, and this time around we need the, this leg of the 4 is now on its way down, so that's the one that we need to make, okay? So it's kind of like weird, like our body is going up, but our leg is starting to make its way down, but the thing is our kneecap is going to come up just a slight hair, okay? And then that's what's gonna like whip this leg around so then it becomes straight, okay? So again, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go a little bit higher than this kneecap, and then I'm gonna come down like this and at an angle. And then I probably made that bottom part of the leg a little bit too long. So I'm gonna, again, follow that top portion of that leg. I'm gonna come here, and then I'm gonna extend out that way. And then this leg, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend it down, then change it at a slight angle. Oops, without my screen moving, hopefully. Sorry, mouse is acting a little crazy. And then I'm gonna extend that down at an angle, but I'm gonna stop it well short because I'm gonna use the tippy toe of my foot, okay? Now, for your arms, you are heading, your blue leg is back, so we need to make sure that we're doing the in-between between these two. So what we wanna do is we want to, for our passing was here. So we want to get a little bit in front of our passing. So we want start in the middle, come up and over. In this case, we are going to be starting in the middle. We're going to go split the difference between the two, split the difference between the two. And that essentially is our push up off the back foot to start to get to this pose where our leg is forward. We also make a copy of that. We are going to put it past the passing 2, okay? And then we can rename it to up 2. And then I'm going to rename my down copy to down 2. Now I make sure that I'm in order. I have contact 1, down, passing 1, up, contact 2, down, passing 2, up 2. Now your last step is to put any of your layers that we lower the opacity. We are going to now bring their opacities back up. So we're going to change passing 1 back up, and we are going to do contact 2 back up, and probably contact 1 as well. Yep, those are the 3 that we changed. So now you should have them in order, and we're going to check. We have contact. We have our down, then passing, up 1. So our blue is going to be back here. Then contact, our blue's all the way back. Okay, so pay attention to the legs the first time around. Now, after we've made all of them, now it's to follow along and draw in our blues and our reds. It's kind of easy since we've already done this once. We are going to put our brush back at 5, make sure it's all the way hard at 0%. We are going to bring our down, undo this so you can actually see what's going on. So since this was our, since this one right here is our blue leg, this one's are going to be our blue leg for the down. So I'm going to hide the contact, and then I'm going to trace along the top. Remember, start at like pretty much the center. We're just off center. Remember, don't go past center. You want to start on that right side since we're drawing on the right side over here. Okay, so that's going to be this leg. That means that this is this arm. Oops, I didn't draw at a good angle. Draw this down. So there's my blue. And I'm going to do the same thing for my red. If you lose your red, all you got to do is click the black circle, click the red circle that was the closest to the front, and it'll bring your color back. Again, start at the stomach, come down. In this case, the leg is in the back. So I'm going to start right, basically, if I drew an imaginary line, I would start there. So there's your down and down. Then look at your passing, okay? And then you know that that means that this forward leg is going to be your red and this back leg is going to be your blue. Okay, so make sure you're clicked on the right layer. I'm already on red, so I'm gonna stick with red first. So I'm gonna hide this. I'm going to make this my red. Notice that I'm starting at where the stomach is kind of ending, not in the middle of the mass of the body. That means that this arm is going to be my red arm. Switch to blue. Again, start at around the center of mass. In this case, start in the center of mass. Okay. Repeat the same steps for down to and up to. I'm going to pause. I'm going to get them. Actually, you know what? I'll do them real quick. Shouldn't take me that long. Now my red is here on the right. That means that the one on the right and this next one for down is going to also be my red. So this is going to be my red. That means that this one's my blue. I'm on blue, so I'm just going to do that. Do center of mass. I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. So that means that this is my blue. Since this is the one that's back, even though it's coming forward, this one's still back. That means that this is my arm that I need. So I come up here and then I come down this way. And then I switch to my red. Boom, boom. Notice I stopped there before where the back would be shown. And then again, start at the stomach, come down, come across. That's my second down. And I'm going to repeat for my other one. So again, you'll see that this one is my blue. This leg here is my blue. That means that the one whipping forward is going to be my blue as well. My back leg is my red. Since I'm already on red, I will start with the back leg. So I'm going to make this red. Remember, start behind the butt area that would be there. That means that this is my red arm. I'm going to start at the chest because we don't see that side of the arm. Gonna flip. That means that center of mass and across, that is my blue arm. And that means that this is my blue leg. And after you're done that, you are going to now export your all 8 images if, or I'm sorry, you're going to export your 4 new images that you've created because you have you now have your down 1, down, up 1, down 2, and up 2. You're going to do those 4 total. Once we're done this, in the next class, I'm going to show you how to upload it into Kapwing, where then you can create your animated video of your character walking. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and that's it for the next video.